Won't you stop and take a little time out with me? Just take 5.
You know we're fancy with the intro music. At take 5. All right, another morning. Got the 5 on this time. We actually have a full house here. All right. And we do have a special guest with us today. We got Bryce coming in. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, man. Glad to be here. Glad for y'all want me to come on, man.
Absolutely. We're hoping to gain some knowledge. How everybody else feeling?
Pretty good. Off a Sixers dub.
Nobody cares. No, we don't care about that. I didn't ask you about
you
that.
You did. You care.
I did. Like, I really did. Anywho, let's go ahead and get into this thing. So, like I said, we got a special guest, Bryce, here. Make sure y'all follow him on his social media. Bryce, you want to tell us about your media and what you do real fast?
Yeah. So I do content creation for both Hawks and Falcons. For the Atlanta Hawks, I do a podcast for the Believe Podcast Network called Believe in Hawks. You can catch it on any podcast platform or also on my YouTube, which is also Bryce_2K. And also Falcons strictly YouTube content as well. So try to cover both of the two, I guess Braves are top 3. I would say the 2 top teams, but Braves are probably top 2, maybe I don't know. Depends on what people think. But yeah, so I try to do my best trying to cover both of those teams and just get my analysis on what's happening.
Absolutely. So, and definitely make sure y'all check out his YouTube because he just told us that he's got a reaction to that Hawks game last night up and posted, right?
Yes. It's already up right now, available on any podcast platform or on my YouTube.
Absolutely. So y'all go check that out for sure. And that's where we're going to start, right? So we both watched the game last night, coming off of that All-Star break. We came out horribly. It looked like we were sleepwalking out there, especially in that first quarter. They get on it was like a 9-2 run, had us calling timeout very early. Definitely a terrible start, and obviously we couldn't get the job done in a close finish. What did you see from the Hawks that game? Anything you liked or anything that you weren't so happy about?
Yeah. I mean, the start of the game, man, they look like a team that hasn't played in over a week, especially offensively. I think they came out with energy. They just weren't making shots. In Toronto that was the second of a back-to-back for them, so they had just got all that out the previous night. True. So McQuinn had to call 2 timeouts early. Wasn't ideal in the first 6 minutes, but I think from that moment they settled down. And then we get into the second quarter, they actually get the lead back before they lost it due to Quinn getting ejected from the game after they didn't call a foul on Portal for hip checking trade like that. So obviously you love to see that from your coach. Love to see a guy get fired up. Especially if star player gets hurt. It piss anybody off. So that was good. But overall, I mean, the biggest thing from yesterday's game was just the same issues that plagued this team this whole year kind of reared its ugly head once again. I think that what we see is what we're going to get on a game-to-game basis. They'll have stretches where they play better ball, which they did before the break, before the last 2. And then you'll have those stretches like we are right now. We're on a 3-game losing streak. So, I like the fact, though, from last night's game, Hunter still looks good coming off the bench. He's been great in that role since he's been moved to the bench. I'm glad DeJounte was aggressive last night. I think we sadly, missed the Yeka Kongu last night because, the Clint Capella missing putbacks, airballing putbacks is not ideal. So that is something which I got into on my pod about just what has to happen with him moving forward. But overall, just it sucked. game was there for us, and we just didn't make enough plays to win.
So again, I completely agree with you that this has been something that's been kind of a trend with us all year. This was definitely a very disappointing loss, though. I mean, you take a Raptors team that's not very good. They haven't been very good all year. They just got through switching a lot of pieces of their roster over this past deadline. It's a game where you want to come off that all-star break and go out on a high note, I feel like. And we were unable to do that. But I just want to talk about the Hawks this season really quick. So if you remember first 10 games, we win 6 of those, right? So notably we beat the Bucks and the Timberwolves on a back-to-back. Those are very good times. You should have seen the was so crazy because I thought that this team, with Quinn coming in, we looked like we had turned the corner. A lot of things have happened since then, of course, but throughout the year, we've been top 10 in pace, top 10 in scoring. We've been pretty good on the offensive end, but over the past couple months, like you've mentioned, injuries have plagued us a lot. I mean, we've had Hunter missing a significant amount of time. We've got Onyeka out now. Trey's been pretty much in the lineup. Trey's been pretty much there. I know Jalen Johnson, he hurt his, I think it was his arm, something like that. He was out for a good amount of time. But through it all, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, they've had career years pretty much for themselves. I mean, they've been playing very well under Quinn. So I just want to ask you, I mean, how do we go from having our 2 stars playing this well, playing great basketball, new coach in place? How do we get to this point where we can't take care of business against this Raptors team?
I mean, I think it's the same things that I think, you hear in a lot of Atlanta Hawks discourse. I mean, obviously we could talk about the roster construction of this team, don't really have anybody who can defend the point of attack. You have a guy in Clint who doesn't fit in Quinn's system. I mean, if you think about this team, Jalen Johnson has improved, DeAndre Hunter has improved, Onyeka Okongwu has improved, and even though Bey went through a shooting slump in terms of his overall game, that's gotten better. And yet you're still, and like you said, I think DeJounte is averaging career high in points this year, but yet we're not any better. And I just think when you don't have the right team around the right players, that's what you're going to get. Because, like I said, we're one of the worst defensive teams in the game. I mean, that's just as simple as that, and that's what that affects us.
The truth.
A lot of our wins, we're winning 130 to 120. Like we're having to win shootouts.
Yeah.
We can't defend a team like we just had that Cleveland Sixers game last night. That was technically that's a defensive showdown.
Yeah.
Compared to today's NBA, but the Hawks can't get into a game like that because they don't have the personnel to do that. They have to score a bunch of points if they're going to win a game. So I think that's been the big issue, and I think that's something the front office is obviously responsible for. You traded John Collins, but you never replaced him in terms of a backup 4 behind Jalen. You just said we'll have Bey play the 4, but it's like, okay, you play against bigger teams. Bey's not. That's not. You don't want him out there playing the 4 against
right
guys like that. So
this is where I get emotional, though. This is where I start to get upset as a Hawks fan. Okay. Because this has been an issue for the Hawks over multiple years, I would argue. You know what I mean? So you come into this year, throughout several months of play, we see that defense is still not our biggest strong suit, and we still do not have that personnel. Then you get to a deadline situation where there are a lot of names, a lot of potential players that could help our cause are floating around. How do you sit on your hands and not do anything? What's your take on that?
I mean, I think, especially now, I think you can see that and be like, why didn't we? Especially you heard rumors for months. Hawks are the most aggressive team. They're aggressively trying to trade DeJounte. They're aggressively looking for deals. And then nothing, right. Not a single move happens. Yeah. Not even a small one. Nothing. And then think about it. Right now, they still have a roster decision to make with Trent Forrest. They could have made this decision by now. He's already at his limit on his 2-way contract, and they're just waiting. And I'm like, why? If cut him, yeah,
honestly,
listen, I appreciate what Trent has done, but literally, you drafted Kobe Buffkin. He can literally do what Trent Forrest does, and he's a better offensive player by far. So
I'd argue a better defensive player as well. I mean, you see him get into the game. I mean, he's very active. You know, he's trying to get it on the team.
Exactly. So they chalk it up to development. That's what Landry said after the trade deadline. But the issue is, it's like, your team has holes. So why are you not trying to fix them? The number one thing I always asked was, what is the goal of this season? Like, what is the expectation? Because they were talking like we're trying to be a top 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. And then you're talking almost like, well, we have long-term goals. Well, what's the goal this year? That's kind of the issue.
And my thing with the Hawks is like where do you turn to? Because like you said, like if there's no goal for this year, you have an all-star caliber player in Trae Young, right? How long is he gonna sit there and just accept this? Like, how long is he gonna accept not winning, not advancing far in the playoffs? Like, I just want to know what the Hawks like. What's the Hawks end game? Like, I'm not a Hawks fan. Like, I'll watch the Hawks occasionally. I live here. But like, I don't understand what the Hawks are doing when I feel like they do believe in Trae Young. Like, I feel like they believe he can take them, to where they want to go. But why have they not like surrounded him with anything? Like, there's really nothing there that can take him to, I would say, at least another Eastern Conference Finals.
I mean, they've tried. Like, DeJounte Murray isn't nothing.
Dude,
DeJounte Murray and Trae Young are not taking you to an Eastern Conference Finals. Like that too.
When that trade first happened on paper, that's exactly what was supposed to happen.
No, dude. That's not like the duos in the league that we have, like D-Book and KD, or like Giannis and Dame. Like the duos in the league are not Trae and DeJounte. He needs a better co-star. That's all it is, I think.
And also, I have another question for the Hawks fans. I've posed this to them before, but do you think Trae Young can be the best player on the championship team?
Bro, please stop. Okay. you're just trying to be disrespectful right now.
That's a serious question.
Right. So I'll answer that second one first for answer your first question about Trae Young. So we do have evidence even on that team in 2021 that didn't have any All-Stars. Their second best player technically was John Collins or Bogey. But they had a better roster construction around Trae Young. And we saw what he did. He got him there. I mean, everybody's always going to have the belief if Trae never got hurt, they would have beat Milwaukee. We don't know, but that would be the belief. That's the way the game was heading before he got hurt. The thing is, to answer now your question about DeJounte and Trae, I made this point on my pod last night, and I'll make it here. I watched the Dallas game a couple of nights ago.
Yeah,
a couple of nights ago with Luke, Kyrie, and Luka.
All right.
Obviously, we know they're elite offensive players. Defensively, probably below average, right?
Below average.
So probably similar situation to Atlanta. Obviously, DeJounte maybe isn't the scorer that Kyrie or Luka is, but Trae pretty much can, he can score, have big nights.
Yeah.
But the one thing Dallas has done a really good job of is surround them with the right pieces that help them not stand out defensively. They have 3-and-Ds. They have defenders. They have a big who can rebound. They have spacing. They have a bunch of things that now makes Kyrie and Luka fit, because people were worried about just that fit in general.
Yeah.
But I think Dallas has done a really good job of surrounding them with the right players to do that. And in Atlanta, I don't know if you can say you've done that. Okay, if you're weak to 2 guards, then you need to make sure your 3 to 5 are all good defensive players. You have Jalen. I think Yucca Kongu's good. Bay is not a defender. So now you're running 3 guys, you're 1 through 3 who can't defend that well. Trae tries, and he can make plays. But, I mean, you're not expecting Trae to shut anybody now. DeJounte is more of a disruptor than a stopper, And then Bay, I mean, he tries defensively. That's what I'll give him. He tries, but he's not stopping anybody either. So
what about DeAndre Hunter, though?
Well, here's the thing. Hunter has been better since he's returned. And honestly, if he stays on the bench and continues to play this way moving forward, you do have a question that you have to ask of, okay, well, what do we do with him? You've had success on the bench. You've kept him there. You didn't have to. Is he worth keeping on the team to play off the bench, even with his contract, if he gives you the production he's giving you? He gave you 22 points last night in 26 minutes. He's been doing that a lot. I mean, you're getting that. I'm like, hey, I'm pretty happy with that production. And I think he does well defensively, because I mean, at the end of the day, people want to move him, but wings are so just valuable nowadays because a lot of teams have really good wings offensively. You got to have wings defensively.
Especially wings like that, like 3-and-D wings.
Exactly.
Like, you need them.
And I'll make this quick point too. I also think Jalen Johnson actually has like saved DeAndre Hunter. And what I mean by that is before Jalen emerged, we all wanted Hunter to be the guy, the wing, the person.
Yeah.
And now it's not him anymore. It's Jalen. He's expected to be that guy. DeAndre could just be him. And what he does is completely fine. I've always said he's a good player. He's not special. He will never be special. He's just a good wing. And that's okay. So, that's something that they have to figure out moving forward because they could still go get a guy this season, keep Hunter off the bench, but have another guy who could play that 3 and who's a 2-way.
So another thing that I'm confused with the Hawks is like, if I was the Hawks, I would have absolutely moved DeJounte Murray this year. Like, number one, I feel like you could have got I wouldn't have moved him for D'Lo, I'll be honest. And D'Lo is one of my favorite players. Like, he is my favorite player, actually. I wouldn't have moved him for D'Lo. But I would have tried to go get some valuable assets back. Because I think that Jalen Johnson is more special than DeJounte will ever be. Like, I think right now, or not right now, but like, I would say maybe give it a year or two, Jalen Johnson will be better than DeJounte Murray has ever been. Like, and I feel like you can build around Jalen Johnson and Trey much better than Trey and DeJounte. Like, I don't think
with that point, my bad, Drew. With that point, I also want him to touch on if Trey is our friend. Like, is he going to be that guy that's going to take us to a conference championship? Ultimately,
he has to be at this point. Like, y'all have invested a lot.
I just want to know if he thinks that, though. I think that, but I want to know what he thinks.
No, I think Trey can. I think he can. I mean, I just think again, it depends on what the front office does for him and give him the players that you need to put around him. You got to maximize his skill set that also maximize his players. I used this example with LeBron. Remember LeBron's first year in LA? They got a lot of defenders and ball handlers. What's LeBron's strengths? Passing. They changed it. They got shooters.
Yeah.
I think that was the bubble year. I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Or that was the second year. Second year was the bubble year.
Second year was the bubble.
So they changed it. They won a chip. You got to make sure you're maximizing your best player's skill set. He's an elite passer and an elite playmaker. Now luckily, Bogey, great shooter. Hunter is shooting 40% from 3. He clearly has improved his shot under Snyder. Yaka can, even though his 3-point shooting isn't great, he is working on the 3-point shot, becoming a stretch 5. Jalen has improved his 3-point shot. So you have some guys there. You just need to just get the defenders up around him. If you can do that, now you have shooters that he can pass to, and you got guys who can defend, who can make up for what he doesn't do well. That's kind of the formula with guards like him. That's the reason why Golden State's been successful. You have Steph Curry, who's your weakest defender, but you have an all-NBA defender in Clay. Harrison Barnes was a great defender at that time in his career. Draymond Green, Defensive Player of the Year. Even Festus Ezeli at that time. The only thing they needed from him was some defense. They just had a bunch of defenders after that, and it worked. Hawks don't really have that right now. They're great offensively, and that's what you should expect from them because Trey's going to give you 25, 30 a night and 10 plus assists. So offensively, you should be fine with him. It's just if you ain't got nobody who can defend, it don't matter if Trey drops 30 and 10. It does. That's why people think it's empty stats because it's not meaning anything in that situation. So, you have to give him a better supporting cast to then say, okay, he can or he can't. Because we knew that Donovan Mitchell wasn't a 1 in Utah because they would be like number 1, number 2 seeds, best records and stuff like that. Guys like that. And you saw they couldn't get there.
Morgan loves Donovan Mitchell. I'm in the same belief as you. Donovan Mitchell will never win the championship as a number 1 player, but I disagree with you on the Trae Young point. Trae Young will never win the championship as the best player. I don't think that's true. Like you would need a GM masterclass, like kind of like you're describing. It would have to be a masterclass to surround Trae with the team for him to be the best player on that team and win a championship. Because I'm just thinking, look, let's just take the Eastern Conference, for example. You have Giannis. He's here for a while. Giannis is here for a while. Like, he's here. We have Jason Tatum. He's here for a while, and they just signed JB to be his 2 for a while. They're together for the long haul. Just those two, like we can just those two players.
They almost lost.
Thank you, Jacob.
Almost
because
lost.
he's acting like he doesn't remember that. He's acting, he doesn't remember that.
Hey,
You know what I mean? Like,
not almost lose.
what do you mean? Trae Young himself took them to the brink of elimination last year. That happened.
6 games.
They won the
Hold
game.
up from half court.
You're right. We're in the play
in Boston in the Garden.
This is the problem, bro.
So y'all think that was a super competitive series? Like,
yeah, what are we talking about?
Bro, it was a close series.
It's the playoffs.
And it's the 1 seed and the 8 seed.
So you thought you were just going to get swept out?
What?
You did. You thought that.
Yeah.
When did I think that?
Oh man, Jacob.
Sultan bet me $200 that we were going to get sweats.
There's not a single soul that's not a Hawks fan on this earth that thought we stood a chance in that series.
Y'all are late right now about taking them to 6. Like that's,
I'm just
even that good.
Straight.
No, but this is what I'm describing though. Like you took them to 6 and you're happy right now.
I'm not happy. I'm just saying it was a competitive series. If we listen to the man, if we bring in a few more defensive pieces, you know what I mean?
Hey, that would be cute. But I'm telling you, and think about this year, what would happen to y'all? Think about if y'all played the Celtics this year, what they did with their roster. Imagine.
I'm taking us.
So much better.
We're taking y'all.
We're part of the reason they did that. I'm just saying.
No, you're not, bro. I would bet you.
We are.
I would bet you your mortgage on that series, bro.
On them all last series and made bank.
Jacob, they added Drew Holiday and Porzingis.
I don't care.
Whatever. Listen, with Trae Young, there's a way. We've seen this multiple times. That's all. That's the only point.
I like Trae.
30 in the playoffs. What happened?
No, listen. I actually really like Trae. Like, I love players who are dogs. Like, I love that.
It's always got to follow the hate.
Nah, Trae's a dog. I don't think he can win. I don't say that about Donovan Mitchell. I don't like Donovan Mitchell. I'm not a Donovan Mitchell fan at all. I don't think he'll ever win. So,
dude, in my opinion, I think he just needs a superstar co-star. I don't think that's
not that crazy right now. Yeah, most players do.
A lot of players do. Yeah, that's just
every player now.
Yeah, almost every player will now.
In order to win a championship, yes.
But I just
want let's take the Hawks roster. Let's think about what we have though right now, just for a second, because we mentioned point of attack defenders. Yeah. DeJounte Murray was supposed to be that for us. We drafted DeAndre Hunter, his length, to be a wing defender, a top-notch defender, a starter at that, not a bench player. This is part of the reason why I get upset. Jalen Johnson, he's come on very strong. I believe he's one of the best ISO defenders in the league, period. He's been great. DeAndre Hunter, he has to be better. He has got to be better.
Dude,
we can't
at this point. I don't
either that or he has to go. That's my mindset.
Clint should have been gone. Like, let's go ahead and establish that. Clint.
Yeah, I mean that's the most obvious thing. Like, gotta get out of here.
Clint has to go. I don't know how they'll get like that contract gone, but he needs to go whenever that expires. When does that expire?
I think after this year, he has like a year left. So technically, next year will be an expiring contract.
Okay, so yeah, he has to go because he has no place with the Hawks right now.
Okongwu's been great. He's just
well.
Somewhat undersized for when again we do start talking about the Giannis's, Porzingis, whatever.
But he comes to play against Giannis. So Hawks get up for the Bucks.
This is what I'm saying.
True. That's fine.
That's all I'm saying. Like, even if you take this year, I just mentioned, we can beat the Minnesota. We can do it. I've seen it. We can beat the Bucks. I've seen it. I don't know about a series.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know about the series. I'm just saying, when it comes down to it, when we get on the line and it's you versus me, you know what I'm saying? Like, we always have a chance. It's just a few pieces. Just a few pieces that I think we could have added on the outside.
Clock is ticking, though.
By deadline time.
Yeah, you should have made a move at the deadline. Like, I'm surprised that you didn't make any moves. That's surprising.
To make the process
like to Bryce's point about the Mavs, like the moves that they made were actually awesome. Like they added PJ Walker at the deadline, and they added Maxi Kleber back. Like those two moves were actually like crazy.
And but they got Gafford, which was the thing.
Oh yeah, they did.
Trae Young's dad, he would never say this, but in so many words, he was sick at the fact that we didn't try and bring him to Atlanta. Like I saw the tweets. He would have been a great piece. You put him in instead of a Capella, I'm telling you, we have a puncher's chance against anybody in a series in the East. I'm telling you,
man, y'all better start watching. Y'all better start watching Phoenix, man. They're starting to play Bobo. Bobo had a great game.
See, I mean,
hey, listen, he can hit threes and dunk on folks. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, for sure.
No, he's nice.
Trae Young would make a lot of big men into all-stars. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
Yeah,
and I just,
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just looking at the landscape. I'm just looking at the landscape of the league and even your conference, and I just don't see it. Like, I feel like the Knicks are about to make a move this offseason.
yeah.
Like, they've kind of built that team around Brunson very well this year.
You know they're about to get Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're going to get Donovan and Brunson. That's a nice tool.
listen. All right. With that being said, this is my final point that I want to bring across, or final topic when it comes to the Hawks. Okay, so I got to go ahead and check our record. I don't know if you know it off the top of your head, but bottom of the play-in situation.
You're 24 and they're 32.
24 and 32.
10th in the East right now. Yeah.
What do we believe the Hawks can do this postseason, assuming that we make it?
I'm dead. I mean, you're kind of at a point where you're just kind of like, just try to be competitive, man. It's really all you can do. I mean, I think last year in the Boston series, I think you saw some of the Quinn effect. Just as the games, it's a playoff series, you would make adjustments as the series goes on. That's why when it hit the game 3, the series all of a sudden became ultra competitive, went down to the wire. Still 130 to 120 games, but you saw back and forth, like really good brand of basketball in terms of like exciting play. And I think that's what you just hope for this time around. Pretty much it's the same exact thing, except obviously Boston has made upgrades to try to tie up any weaknesses they had. And like I said, the Hawks really haven't. The only thing you can hope for is that obviously like guys like Jalen, has a big series. Hopefully, they're willing to go ahead and go for, because you can't play Clinton against the Celtics. He never closes games against them, so you have to go with Onyeka Okongwu to be your guy there, and then you just gotta hope that Trae and DeJounte both are on, and then Bay gives you some threes, and then Bogey continues to be Bogey, 6-man of the year Bogey. So that's really what you're hoping for. Personally, I love for them. It's the playoffs, so you wouldn't do it, but I'd love for them to play guys like Kobe just to give them that experience. Even Steph Lundy, if that's possible as well, and just kind of see what they can do. Because all we're hearing all the time is that they're dropping 30 in the first half against the Skyhawks. But at the same time, it's like, you figure out what you're gonna do, because this offseason they got to make moves. There is no literal excuse this front office can make to not make any moves. You literally have to move off particular guys, and you have to upgrade it. Because luckily, I don't think Trae's that type of player who's gonna be like, I want to get out of here. He just doesn't come off to me like that. He said it in his post-game All-Star. He's like, listen, I got 2 years, 3 years left of my contract. He's just like, I'll play out my contract. He likes Quinn. He loves Jalen. I think he wants to see it through. He's been, after a couple of games, saying we need to bring the right people in here to do what Quinn wants to do. He said that multiple times. So he's even acknowledged this roster isn't it. So he's just like, let me see what you do, and then we'll decide what I want to do. Obviously, he's represented by Clutch, so you're going to have rumors. That's what Clutch do. Represented by Clutch.
I didn't know he was a Clutch guy. That series.
Yeah, he's a Clutch dude.
He's a Clutch guy. That's serious.
Yeah, so they're always going to be like, hey, LA, hey, this, guys, sprinkle something out there to get the media talking. But realistically, man, it's just one of those things where that's all you can do is just try to be competitive. And then you need to have a firm idea of who you're moving forward with, what your core is. Right now, it seems like your core has to be Onyeka, Jalen, and Trae, and then you adjust around him. And you see what type of team you can create next year that hopefully is more competitive. Because it sounds like to me, because I don't know if y'all noticed this, a lot of people in the national media thought the Hawks were going to be better this year too. I think Hawks are a big disappointment to a lot of people.
I think y'all are going to be 10th. 10th in the East is that's
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, all right, something needs to happen here because we can't keep falling behind. So Andrew Fields is under pressure.
For sure. Y'all got anything to add about
I want to redirect that question back to you, Morgan. I want to hear what you think the Hawks are going to do in the playoffs, and Jacob as well, since y'all are Hawks fans. Like, I just want to know, and like be realistic.
Sure. Before I touch on that, do you know anything about AJ Griffin? Like, do you know anything about his situation? I know he's with the Skyhawks now. What do you know what happened to him?
I mean, there was like when AJ's dad got fired, there was all this stuff going out. This girl posting, I think one of his siblings. It was just like some weird situation about a kid. It was just like a bunch of weird stuff going on. Yeah. I don't think AJ had anything to particularly do with it, but he was going through some personal issues. I think he was going through some mental health, and I think that affected his play. And Landry kind of mentioned that in the press conference. He was like, yeah, he kind of had a bit of a setback, had some personal issues he was dealing with. So that's why I think AJ has not had the season that we expected for the most part.
That's what I thought. Then that's too bad because I think he could have been a nice addition for us. He was really good last year. I mean, he was a good player for us. In terms of what I believe the Hawks can do, like I said, when you have a gamer like Trae Young, there's always a chance. We didn't mention that we beat the Miami Heat last year in the play-in. I just want to throw that out there. Yeah. So if it is going to be a one-game scenario in this play-in, I'm going to take us over anybody. All right. So let me just
anybody.
Not just
anybody.
I mean, I don't doubt the Hawks can get through the play-in situation. It comes down
in
to
the play-in situation.
Okay. No, they'll be competitive for sure in the play-in.
Right. And once we get out of the play-in, that's what I believe we will do. Once we get out of the play-in, then it's going to be a matchup game. If we match up with Boston again, obviously that's going to be trouble. They've been the best team in the league for, pretty much the majority of the year. If we see the Bucks, if we see the Cavaliers,
if we see the
Philadelphia 76ers by some chance, all right?
That's not happening.
Stop it, Morgan. Stop it.
Then you gotta flip that coin. You know what I mean? Like you gotta flip that coin.
I can't take him serious.
Really see. No.
You just have short-term memory, like
you versus me. You know what I'm saying? We really have to see about it because I've seen many things. I've seen many things happen. And I don't know why the Sixers fan up there looks like that because we know y'all team. We know y'all well.
Cavs?
No, they can, the Cavs, they actually may have a shot.
We could beat the Cavaliers in the series.
Cavs never show up in the playoffs.
Dude, they have a way better team.
They do. Everybody does. That's been established.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
If we get on the line, though.
Why would it be 50-50 in a playoff series?
It's not 50-50, but the Cavs don't show up in the playoffs usually. Like, I think the Hawks have a shot.
They have a guy.
Dude, we have a guy. We have that guy.
Dude,
but I'll let Jacob chime in. Jacob, what you think?
I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, if we run into the Bucks, I mean, we've seen in the past how we play the Bucks. We should have beat them. Why is that funny?
Bro, the Bucks are nice, bro.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
They're nice now.
But they haven't been good under Doc.
That's just what I'm saying.
That's true. Like,
things
I think they'll overcome the Doc stuff. Like they would beat you in the first.
There's no overcoming Doc.
That's
not a thing.
I thought they'll be okay.
I think they'd be okay.
You'll handle y'all in the first round. I do believe that. But if you do get the Sixers in the play-in, I think now that would be more interesting. If you get the Sixers in a one-game scenario, that would be much more interesting with Joel Embiid coming back off injury. Like we'll see what happens there. Because I do, I'm sorry to you, I do think the Sixers will end up in the play-in. I'm not gonna lie.
It's possible, yeah.
But at the end of the day,
for a while, is he? Like he's out for a while, isn't he?
They say he might come back in 3 to 4 weeks, like the end of the regular season,
March.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It will get very interesting for y'all in that play-in.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the Hawks are competing with anybody.
You have a puncher's chance. That's all I have to say about it. But
They can score
man,
with
Bryce,
anyone, but they can't.
I'm gonna let Bryce go here, but Bryce, we appreciate you getting on, giving us some knowledge.
Definitely appreciate being on, guys. Definitely love talking some hoops with y'all for sure.
Absolutely, we're gonna have to have you back on. So again, make sure y'all follow Bryce on his social media. Check out his YouTube and his podcast as well.
Yes, sir. Believe in Hawks.
Yes,
sir. Got a couple believers right there.
All right. Thanks, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right. So again, special thanks to Bryce. That was pretty good. That was some good knowledge.
I like that. Yeah,
You knew a lot.
You know, definitely some good stuff there.
it was good to get another Hawks perspective in the pod. I like
Absolutely. You know, definitely a leveler head than I would be. You know how I get, but
and it's less emotional than
Jacob.
You and Jacob, of course.
Jacob's just
that's
throwing.
what I'm saying. Like,
Just completely throwing.
It gets wild. We had to say bye to Jacob as well. He's got stuff to do. So who was Donovan Mitchell's second star in Utah? Who was his superstar that he was supposed to win with? What? Huh?
That's never was said.
What?
We said they were one in the West and they didn't get the job done. They got bounced out every year.
Oh, but we just mentioned that you need another guy in order to get that job done, don't we? I mean, many people have to have another guy to get that job done, right?
Third round, and he lost to the Knicks last year. And let's be real, if Donovan Mitchell's a superstar, they beat the Knicks last year.
Who was this guy?
They have multiple guys. They have multiple guys.
They have multiple guys. And
they don't have a good team.
Y'all just played those multiple guys, didn't you? Y'all just played those multiple guys.
So
Darius Garland got outplayed by Cameron Payne.
No, they're second in the East.
Stop it, Jew. Stop it.
What do you mean stop it? They're second in the East.
He doesn't have a co-star.
Because of Donovan Mitchell.
I didn't say he doesn't have a co-star, but he has multiple good players around him. Very good players. Garland is a very good player.
So goalpost is here.
A very good player. Like, what are we talking about?
Now it's here. Evan Mobley is not a very good player. I would not allow you to lie. No, he's not very good. What makes you think that?
What do you mean? Evan Mobley can do everything. Why are you looking like that? He can defend multiple positions. He can handle the ball for a big man. He can pass out of the post. He can shoot okay. Evan Mobley's a good player.
They're just young though. It's hard to ask your superstar to carry a bunch of young guys, especially when they've never been there before. Okay. And they're not that good.
That roster is very filled out.
It's a good roster.
Jared Allen's on that team. Mobley's on that team. Garland's on that team. And have Donovan Mitchell. That four should be able to get you. That should be able to take you places. And who else is Okoro?
Yeah, Okoro. These are young guys.
I understand they're young, but that should be able to take you out of the first round.
Harris LeVert off the bench.
There's guys on the team. They should be able. You should leave the first round. They added Max Strus and Niang.
No, I agree. They should have been better last year, but I don't think that he had a co-star necessarily to.
I didn't say he had a co-star.
That was the point Morgan was saying.
It doesn't matter. You don't need a co-star to get out of the first round. That's not true.
He's been out of the first round multiple times.
Yeah, 5 years ago. Yeah, he was out of the first round.
5 years
He was
ago.
in Utah. Yes, he was. He did get out of the first round in Utah with the number one seeded Utah Jazz. Yes, they got it the first round. If they didn't, that would have been a travesty.
What? he was the best player on that team. But
yes, I agree.
Everyone agrees with that.
Should he not have got out of the first round? Like, what are we talking about?
Dude, he's had very good playoff series before. Like, let's not act like he has.
I understand
very well.
I don't efforts to be fair, but
I don't give a care. I'll say that. I don't care. He's not a superstar. He won't win as a championship one. That's not happening.
Superstar.
No, he's not a superstar. I've told you many times. He's not a superstar. No.
I mean, it just gets wild.
None of these guys that we talk about are superstars. The guys that y'all like to bring up, like him, even Trey, for example. No, he's not a superstar. He's an all-star. No.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where we get into throw territory.
It's not throw it. I enjoy them as players. I love to watch Trey Young play. Trey is he's actually one of my favorite players. He's a real dog.
It's not throw. It's crazy.
That's not throw.
You're wild. If you lead the league in assists for multiple years.
Listen, to be a superstar, I gave y'all my criteria for many years at this point. To be a superstar, you have to be able to be a championship one. That's the criteria for a superstar. Jaylen Brown is not a superstar. I've told you this
Eastern Conference Finals, turns his ankle, and they lose.
Bro, do you understand?
He would have been in the finals. So no. Trey Young went to a finals. Was he a superstar?
Giannis got hurt. Giannis also got hurt. Y'all leaving out that. Y'all left out that Giannis got hurt.
These are two different teams. And you know this.
I love
the Hawks. Two different teams.
They love to leave that out.
They do.
I didn't want to call y'all out.
What? We leave it out.
Yes, y'all left out the fact that in the same series that Trey got hurt, Giannis also got hurt, and that your team got beat by Batman Chris Middleton.
Did they not have a better roster than the Atlanta Hawks?
They did, so they won the series. That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
but let's not act like
us losing Trey Young and them losing Giannis
are two
different
things. Morgan,
it's two different things.
You can't sit here and say that it was a given. As Hawks fans, y'all should believe that. I agree.
It's not a given. No. I don't believe that.
Let me finish. As Hawks fans, y'all should believe that you would have beat the Bucks had Trey Young been healthy. You should think that. Me, I'm not a Hawks fan. I'm looking at the game objectively. If you had Trey and they had Giannis, I still think they would have beat you.
I think most people would think that.
And if we're gonna throw injuries out,
Sixers.
Oh shit. Kyrie, if Kyrie doesn't turn his ankle, y'all get bounced out in 4. Or y'all get bounced out in 4 by KD and Kyrie if he doesn't turn his ankle, right? If we're just gonna talk about injuries, the Bucks shouldn't have even been there. That's true. They were getting blown out by the Nets. Kyrie gets hurt. Then now all of a sudden they have a chance and they win by the skin of KD's big toe.
The poll was here. Now it's over here.
No, I'm just saying if we're throwing out injuries, because you're talking about hypothetical things that didn't happen.
I'm just saying.
No, he's not a
us
superstar.
Losing Trey and them losing Giannis.
You can say it's more
two different things.
I agree. Trey is your whole.
That's all I'm saying.
A huge part of your team. Like his usage is off the chart.
He is our team, not you. He was our team. He was the guy. He was our superstar. That's it. That's
Trey
all we had.
Trey was your guy. I agree. Giannis was their guy too.
But then you want to call another dude Batman. At take 5 though. At take 5.
No. Don't move on.
Yeah, I do have to go at take 5 because that's crazy. Like we can't. Again, the ball was here.
I'm getting
now it's here.
No.
It's crazy.
No. I want
they called another man Batman.
Listen. I want you to name me players who you think are superstars. Then, like, go ahead and just throw it out at me because I don't get like how everyone can't be a superstar. Because who are the all-stars then? Who are the all-stars if everyone's a superstar? I'm serious.
Let's get a good list up there. I definitely had some more topics, but
Tyrese Maxey is a superstar now.
Is that a joke?
I'm asking. Is he?
He's asking.
Why would he be?
Is he not?
Who are you comparing Tyrese Maxey to?
He had 2 50-point games this year.
Other guys, he's getting near that level of those other guys like Jaylen Brown and them. That's
Morgan's biased, so he doesn't agree with that. But
Tyrese Maxey's getting to the level of Jaylen Brown.
Yes,
you want to stand on that?
Yes, he's getting around that level. That's factual.
He said 2 50-point games this year.
Dude.
What about guys like
regardless of the 50-point games? Like,
what about De'Aaron Fox? Is De'Aaron Fox a superstar?
When does it matter the most, Julian?
De'Aaron Fox hooped in the playoffs. Is he a superstar?
For sure. No, De'Aaron Fox did hoop in the playoffs. When does it matter the most?
Is Jamal Murray a superstar? Let me.
When does it matter the most?
In the playoffs, is Jamal Murray a superstar? I'm asking.
All right then. No. But let's again keep the post where it is for a second. No, keep the post where it is for a second because we're talking about Maxey now. Let's talk about Maxey, right? You asked me if he's a superstar. Ian brought up that he has multiple 50-point games throughout this year. He's playing very well. What does it matter the most? What does it matter the most? It's not a trick question.
In the playoffs, what's your point?
All right, then. Maxey is not a playoff performer. That's TBD. All right. We have not seen that from him because they be getting bounced out with Maxey on the roster. We haven't seen that. So it's just like, why would I even go there?
So
now you want to talk about Jamal Murray.
Pose multiple guys to you.
Yeah. What would you say next? Fox?
De'Aaron Fox. He's superstar.
Fox? I mean, he's good.
No. He must be. He must be.
What do you mean he must be?
He has to be. If we're talking, if Trey and Jaylen Brown and Mitchell are superstars, then what's his face should be like he's a superstar too. De'Aaron Fox would be a superstar.
So
they're not different levels.
No. But let me understand. Let's understand what we're saying. All right. So through multiple years, De'Aaron Fox has averaged 27.
No, this is recent.
No. I'm just asking. He's average. What?
De'Aaron Fox has played very well the last few years. Yes.
That's again. Has he averaged 27 plus?
I'm sure he has
multiple years. No, he has not. But so what about the assists?
Years.
Has he been the leader in the NBA in assists for multiple years? Has he? The answer is no. Has he taken a team to an Eastern Conference Finals? No, he is not. So it's just like when we talk about these players, they are levels.
He plays in the East. Like, stop
what does that mean?
The East is way more.
What does that mean? I mean, let's just take the East. You know, we got two teams right now. I mean, we got the Celtics. You saw what they did. You saw what they added. Then we talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. You know, Giannis is going to be there for the long haul. He's going to be there for the long haul.
I didn't even want to go to the West Side.
Ian just got through boasting last night. Ian just got through boasting last night that Joel Embiid is the best player in the world. He's in the East. Last time I checked.
Joel Embiid's not the best player in the world. Let's go ahead and establish that.
I'm just saying. Like, we can't have it both ways, though. This is why I get blown.
Yes. We'll establish that. So we don't even have to talk about that one. Joel Embiid is not the best player. Leave it at that. Then, yes, I didn't want to bring up the West to y'all because we're talking about the Hawks even going to a finals, much less winning it. Like, I don't winning the finals would flabbergast me. If Trae Young leads a team to a finals and wins it, I will be shocked. I'll be shocked.
Especially as the one. That would be a hard beat. It's a hard beat.
He has to lead them to a finals and win it. Morgan,
I just don't know how we can sit here and say that that's impossible after we saw him get to that third round. All right,
that was a great playoff run. Guys have great playoff runs. That was a great playoff run.
It was just a great run. That was it.
That was a great run. That was it.
Was it a fluke? Yes or no?
Shit, I don't know. Like maybe.
I know you don't know because it's not.
It
can't be.
Probably was, dude.
Have you had any playoff success after that?
Okay.
That was the weakest the East.
There we go.
What playoff success? Listen though, what playoff success have you had before or after that?
I mean, when was this? A couple years ago? You know what I mean? Like, so in a couple years, what have we done?
In the Trae Young era, let's say.
I mean, in the Trae Young era, I mean, not much. What can I say?
So was it a fluke? You tell me. I don't know.
I mean, what can I say?
Now you're
not much. But look at the teams that we beat and look at the teams that we compete with. That's all I got to say.
Competing in the regular season doesn't matter, bro. Hey, I'm sorry to tell you that.
I don't know. Again, I don't know how we could say Trae Young can't. You know, if we could talk about the team, we could talk about the pieces, whatever. But like, I don't know how we can sit here. You know, y'all know what his playoff stats are.
It's not about.
I don't know how we can sit here and say that Trae Young cannot. Like,
it's not all about whatever. It's not all about Trae.
It definitely is. It is. Okay, then. I mean, then I don't know what we're talking about.
Are we talking
about the Hawks then? Like,
listen, I'm not saying that the Hawks will have no success. I just don't think Trae Young can be the leader of that success and it ends in a championship. That's what I'm saying.
If he could do what he did with those scrubs, get him some guys, just a few. We don't need everybody, just a few.
Who, bro? Who?
Before we move on though, Julian, you got me riled up this morning for no reason. I don't like that. Jamal Murray. I don't know what he is. Keep it a buck with you. I don't know what bro is. Because he be hurt during the season, whatever. He hasn't even been an all-star before. I don't know what he is. So, hey. I can't.
Hey.
Not with a good mind. I don't know if I could call him a soup. So
if he's not, then none of them are. That's how I'll leave it at that.
It makes no sense.
That makes perfect sense. That makes
because
perfect
again,
sense.
We value different things. We value much different things. We do. Jimmy Butler wasn't an all-star this year.
Jimmy Butler is way different. If Jimmy Butler is a superstar.
They elevate their level of play come postseason time. That's what they do.
Jimmy Butler and Jamal Murray aren't superstars. None of them are. None of those other guys are.
Even, you know what I'm saying? Like I personally don't agree. I value the full product.
Morgan, I have a question. I have a true question.
I do.
Morgan, who would you rather have though? Like in the playoffs? Like let's just be honest.
Don't do it. Please don't.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler or Trae Young?
Oh, Jimmy Butler or Trae?
Yeah.
Butler.
Okay.
He's carrying his team.
Okay. All right. So you answered the question yourself. If he's not a superstar, how is Trae? You just said
I couldn't even get out my spiel before they cut me off. Like we have to take many things into account. The full product. Everything. Look at their careers. Let's look at everything about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we do that? Is that not fair? Right now, we just got through witnessing Jimmy Butler carry his team to a finals. I can't argue with that. Trae Young hasn't done that. I can't argue with that.
So what makes Jimmy Butler?
Is that what you want me to say?
What? I just
is he a superstar? I don't know. I really don't.
You not see how you contradict yourself. So
I told you, Jamal Murray, I don't know. Jimmy Butler, I have no idea. Because again, they played one way for 82. Then come postseason time, they're Super Saiyan.
Just told me.
So I don't know.
Just ask me what matters the most. You just asked me that.
For
less than 5 minutes ago.
So then what was the point of asking?
The full product.
No.
It does.
No.
It playoffs matter the most. Full product also matters. Trae Young has done both. That's why I'm sitting here like, yes, he's a superstar in my eyes. Jamal Murray and Jimmy Butler, they've done one end.
See, my thing is,
it's like that matters the most for sure.
Listen, I think that we just think there's a way different amount of superstars in the league because I think there's only maybe 10 to 15, maybe at most 10 to 15 superstars in the league. That's my max. I'm capping it at that. There can't be 30. Like we can't have 30 superstars in the league. So that's why I can't put guys like Jaylen Brown in. I can't put guys
a superstar.
No.
At this point in his career, probably not. But probably not. He's a high-end all-star though. Like the highest end all-star you can get. And in the playoffs, maybe he is. Maybe he is in the play. Like as a playoff performer, yeah, he probably is. But like, I don't know. Like he's another one who's gray. He's more gray.
So there is a gray.
No, listen though. There's levels. There's levels.
Early in his career,
we've seen Kyrie play for the last 10 years and be at maintain that level. So
Jaylen Brown and Fox, those guys are not on that level. Like if I needed a guy in the playoffs, I'm not taking any of them over Kyrie. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not. I can't do that. Especially Like they don't have to be as a one. Yeah, maybe not. But just on my team, like he's like that. We know that. He's like that. Unstoppable, efficient.
So you can get stripped of your superstar status after, age, etc.
Yeah,
is that what we're saying?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
I'm talking about current level superstars.
What about
Kawhi
Anthony
Leonard
Davis?
is a superstar. Anthony Davis is a superstar. Yes, he is.
Okay. All right. I think so. 10 to 15.
Yes, 10 to 15.
10
I'm capping
15.
I'm capping it at 10 to 15.
Because since this is where the podcast is going, I wanted to talk about All-Star Week or whatever, but okay.
Like Joel.
Dame Lillard?
No, not right now. Or actually, no. I'm sorry. No. He's just not for me. Because I've always been a guy who said I don't even think Damian Lillard's better than Kyrie. So I can't turn around after I just say Kyrie's not, and then go ahead and say Damian Lillard is. I've literally said that for years.
Yeah, he has.
I've said that for years.
I don't agree with that, but from like his standpoint, yeah, that's fair.
It would be crazy for me to say that. I just said I don't think Kyrie is, so I can't sit here and 5 seconds later say Damian Lillard is. I can't do that.
I think he is.
Yeah, y'all may think that. I just don't think he is. I literally I've been saying that Kyrie's better than him for years. For years. Like a long, long, long time. So no. I'm sorry. You think Damian Lillard
is right?
You think Damian Lillard can lead a team to a finals?
Well, it didn't happen.
Yeah. Yes.
As a number one player?
As a number one player. Yes.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
I mean,
Anthony Edwards?
You will probably never know.
No.
Ant-Man's not. What about Shea?
It's to be determined for him. It's just to be determined.
I think it's to be determined.
We haven't seen him in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's young too.
We're talking about a full package.
If we're talking about him as a regular season player, of course he is. As a regular season player, he's playing amazing. But I don't care about that. We have to see him in the playoffs. If they get bounced out by the Warriors, no, he's not a superstar. No.
Luka Doncic?
Yeah, he is.
Why?
What do you mean?
No. Why? Why is he a superstar?
He's like a top 5 player in the league.
Why?
What do you mean? Why?
Why? Just humor me.
He's an offensive juggernaut.
He's an offensive juggernaut.
Yes, he's
in the playoffs.
He plays very well.
He plays very well.
Yes.
So during the regular season, he plays very well, and during the playoffs, he plays very well.
Yes, and I think that he can lead the team to a championship.
No finals.
Yeah, he plays in the West. I agree. Yeah.
You see what are you catching my drift here?
No,
you're not catching my drift. You're not understanding where we're going with this.
Listen.
Throw Trae Young back in.
Listen. It's not about checkpoints. You don't have to check those things off the list to be a superstar. You don't have to check off, I've been to a finals. I'm this, I'm that. Those aren't checkpoints. It's about projection. I'm projecting that Luka can be the best player on a playoff team, on a championship team. I mean,
you're projecting.
Yes, I'm giving my opinion right now. That's what's happening.
But Julian, you did say you don't think Luka can win with that play style. I
don't think he could. Playing like that.
So
I'm talking how he used to. Now with the Kyrie thing, it's a little bit different.
Okay. It's not different. What are we talking about? What are we saying? What are we talking about?
Oh, Luka, bro. When Luka was going up against the Clippers, in those playoff series, since there was not really another guy on that team, there was at times Jalen Brunson was there for a year, but Luka would dribble the air out of the ball on every possession, and then he'll do pick and roll, and they'll switch it. If there's a center on him, he's gonna take him, shoot it, and if there's a little guy on him, he'll take him to the rim, or he'll dribble in, they'll double team, and he'll kick it. That's every possession that happened. Now
has the highest usage in the league. Still dribbles the air out of the ball.
He does,
He's
but
still
not
Luka Doncic.
It's not to the same.
He has the same success as he did.
It's not to the same extent. Like Kyrie, if you've seen the Mavericks play the last 2 weeks, like I'm talking about 2 weeks of basketball time, they've been playing at a super elite level. They have they lost?
Yes.
I don't think they've lost. I don't think they have lost since Kyrie came back. I'm saying since Kyrie came back, they have not lost. I'm pretty sure
8-2 in the last 10.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's like 8-0 since Kyrie was back, or 7-0 maybe. But like I said, if you've watched them play in the last few weeks, that formula can take them there. They will be a player in the playoffs. Yes, because Kyrie is still getting his.
So Kyrie is the reason why your projection of Luka has changed.
Bro, you need, like I said, you need guys.
The team itself, right? You need the pieces.
But we're talking superstars right now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we're saying, we're holding the fact that Trae Young doesn't have Kyrie against him in his projection of him being a superstar.
There's, like I told you, there's levels. I don't think Trae Young can be the best player on the team. I don't think he's good enough. Like, he's a great player.
Luka can, because
I don't know.
He's better. I think he's a better player.
It's hard because, like, there realistically there probably aren't that many people that are better than him, but like, I guess it's I don't know. It's the liability of defense. It's like, unless
he's
like
tiny,
we were talking about earlier, unless you stack the roster with defense, then it doesn't seem like Trae Young could lead. You know, he can't single-handedly will the team, but it's a fine line. It's a fine line.
But let's move on though. Move on, because yes, Luka is like, and I feel like that's not even like, we don't have to like sit here and debate it. Like everyone knows that. I think anyone who watches basketball would say that he's a superstar. Like, no,
they would say Trae Young is a superstar.
No, they wouldn't.
This is just you that I'm debating with. Yes, they would. They would. Like, I told you exactly why. But again,
they are different. They're on different levels.
We can say that. The success is the same. Like, we can say that, but at the end of the day, I've seen with my own 2 eyes him do the same thing that Luka do. That's what I've seen.
Now you have it.
Hey, whatever. I just, again, we're running out of time.
You heard me.
I'm just gonna put some words into your mouth really quick. I think you believe that Jason Tatum, Giannis, Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant,
yes,
Devin Booker. No, we can't do this. We can't do this.
Just move on. Come on, like, I'll go back to him. I'll circle back to him. Be like, yeah, probably. He probably is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. LeBron James.
Yeah. Right now, yes.
Okay. We already said, you said that Anthony Davis is okay. Well, Steph Curry, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So from what I'm understanding, these are the superstars of the league in your eyes.
Okay. Throw Kawhi in there. You didn't say Kawhi.
Well, I didn't put Jokic. I don't think. I didn't even put Jokic.
Kawhi, like those guys. Yes.
I have Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Jamal Murray, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, Giannis.
No. We don't have to. No. We don't have to count Jamal Murray in there. I was just saying, if we're gonna put those guys in, then we have to put Jamal Murray in. Is what I was saying.
We're putting the emphasis on the playoffs.
If we're gonna put Jaylen Brown and Trae in, then we have to put Jamal Murray in. That's what I was saying. I don't think Jamal Murray's a superstar necessarily. Like, he's a great player, elite player performer, yeah, but no. And he's not leading that team either, you know? Like, it's a little different. Like, that would be he's like what Kyrie was like when he was younger. Like, he was playing Alpha LeBron. And like, yeah, I guess Kyrie was a superstar then too, so I don't know. Like I said, Jamal Murray's tough. He's a tough one. But the other guys, yeah, those are what I think for sure. You've got to be able to be the best player. Nobody on the – I'm trying to look at the league. Let me see.
Yeah, we're going to have to run this all the way back in the clippings, of course.
But yeah, JT, Jason Tatum, not Mitchell, Giannis, Jalen Brunson's on edge. I don't think so though. Joel Embiid, not Tyrese Halliburton, not yet at least.
How could that be possible?
What do you mean?
How could it be possible for Jalen Brunson to be on the edge of superstardom using this criteria?
So is Trey though. It's not like Trey's far off of it, bro. Like those guys are close. They're just not there.
Jalen Brunson and Trey Young are close.
Yes, Jalen Brunson is better than Trey this year. Let's keep it a stack. Jalen Brunson's not better than Trey right now.
I'm not knowing. I mean, they have better teams than us, of course, but
he does have a better team. But like, come on now, Jalen Brunson's hooping, bro. He's like in the MVP conversation. He's in the MVP conversation, Morgan.
Because of team success, not because he's playing better.
One of them didn't make.
Let's get that out of the way. Trey Young would be in MVP conversations if he had a team around him that could win basketball games. He does not.
Instead, his team
talking about the individual. I already had. Where's my PowerPoint, man? Where are my slides? Like this is getting weird. Do I have to break up the whole slides back again?
Morgan, he's 10th in the East, bro.
I just said what I said.
I heard
you. Hear me?
I heard you.
I need to repeat myself.
I'm gonna keep going though. I don't think Tyrese Halliburton. I do think Jimmy Butler. I don't think anyone on the Magic, Bulls, or Hawks, or Nets, or Raptors. Definitely not the bottom of the East. Then I don't think Anthony Edwards is not yet. He's not. He's not yet. He's an all-star. He is. But Shea has the numbers to be a superstar. We have to see it done though. Like this is the first year that they've really been. They have expectations now. So if he meets those expectations, he will be. Kawhi, we know what Kawhi is. Paul George, no. Joker, absolutely. Jamal Murray, maybe. Like I said, if we're going to put those other guys, we have to put Jamal Murray. We have to. But like I said, maybe. Zion, no.
No.
Luka, yes. Anyone on the Kings? Not yet. No. Phoenix, yes, they have two. Probably. Maybe. They have two. Lakers, we probably have two. We only have two. And even Anthony Davis right now, he's shaky because it's only when he wants to be. Like, to be honest, there's times when Anthony Davis is really, no, he's not. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. I do not. You know what I mean? Because again,
Anthony Davis doesn't play like a superstar. Let's be real.
In my eyes, I don't really see what your criteria is other than I guess these are players you like or whatever. Because I mean, if you look at that group the group of whatever it was, 9-10 guys that you just put up, I mean, playoff success, I'd say most of them have gone to a finals situation, maybe.
Everyone's went to a finals except for Luka.
That's what I'm saying. So most of them went to a finals. So is that the cutoff?
Everyone went to a finals except for Luka.
You said, well, yeah. So it's just like, is that the cutoff? Is that what we're saying?
It's
counts as superstar.
Like I said, it's not checkpoints. It's if I think that you can get there. Like we all think, we think.
So
that
I'm arguing with your mind and the complexities of your cranium right now.
Yes. This is
that's why I'm so discombobulated. That's why I can't tell which way is left and which way is right.
Not railing off opinions.
Now I'm really now I get it. I get it.
It's never going to be 100% objective. Like
it can't be.
It can be though, Miles. It most certainly can be.
It can't. It cannot.
It can. We can talk. Says. It's been a long time. We're really in the NBA season now. We can talk about says. Stats, accolades, story, eye test. It can be that simple.
Even using says, then yes, if I use says, those guys aren't
It can be that simple though, can it? Like
that's
why
fine.
can't it be that simple?
If No, if we're gonna use Says, those guys are still on a different level than the other guys that I left off.
Okay, eye test.
Yes, that's what
Story, right? Story. Okay. then we gotta get stats in there. The stats matter. Do they not? I mean,
the stats don't discount what I'm saying.
They don't matter.
Only with like Jimmy Butler, maybe, but like we don't care.
They don't care. What can I say? I mean, if they don't matter, then they don't matter. Like, hey, I don't even know why your boy JJ Redick has a podcast at this point. I mean, if the stats don't matter, then I don't even know what he has to say.
Redick also spews out a lot of foolishness sometimes. Like he does have like good basketball takes, but like there are times where he's a little bit too statistical. Like he's a little too statistical. And it's interesting to hear from him because he actually played the game. It's like sometimes it kind of confuses me. Like he talked, like I heard him last week talking about like the difference between the game now and then, and he just rattling off a bunch of stats. And then he proceeded to say that, like, you know, when he looks at stats, he uses context, but he ignored them in his argument. He ignored the context in his argument. So I didn't understand it, but I don't know.
Listen, I just like to be fair. That's the
only being reason. Fair. I'm being fair. I feel
years ago. No. But years ago, when I created this acronym, it was for the betterment of the community. It wasn't for just you and I. It was so we have these discussions. We have something that we can lean back on. You know what I mean? Because if we don't, then we're just talking in circles for however many minutes it's been, a half hour or so. You see what I'm saying?
I feel like I've been pretty fair. Like my goalpost hasn't changed.
You only used E. That's unacceptable to me.
It's not true.
It's not.
Like I just told you, every one of those guys has been to a finals except for one player. And that one player, we all think he's a top 5 player in the league.
Some would say that about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
That would be like maybe. Would they?
Yes,
probably for this season. Yeah.
Like I said,
that's what they'd say.
They would say that for 1 year. They would say that he's a top 5 current player in the league. Like, yeah, maybe. But he's never played in the playoffs. Like he's never like actually played. Like years ago, I think they played a game. But
you see, that's that story, context. You need that.
Exactly.
You need it. Because if we just use statistics, if we just say, oh, he was all NBA first team and he might get an MVP this year, and we say, eye test, he's crossing up everybody, top of the West, we'd be lost. Miles, please understand what I'm saying. Like, we'd be lost.
Bro, we haven't even seen the real eye test for him. Like, that's the point. The real eye test hasn't happened. Yes.
Context.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That's all I want you to say. Like,
yeah, he hasn't played in the playoffs. Yes.
Okay.
That's important.
Right.
I don't include
context him. Is important for every player. Not just one. We can't discriminate.
That's why I didn't count Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard, yes, he has the accolades, he has the stats, he has the eye test, right? There's a lot of context in that for me, though. That's why I didn't count him. Because I said if I've been the guy who said that Kyrie's better than him, then I can't go back and say that now that he's a superstar. I can't.
And let's go back to the second star argument. Who is the second guy?
Who?
Damian Lillard.
I mean, even now, he's not playing at a superstar level. He's not. And he is a second.
But if he wins a championship this year,
maybe. And it depends.
How are we when we come back to the Says argument?
We would
be a part of it. That gave him a team.
Like, if we're gonna start splitting hairs here, like he's probably viewed as if he's not a superstar, as the upper echelon of like the all-star category, of course. Yeah. But like he could never, best players never take it to the promised land.
Yeah, he's still one of the best players in the league, but I don't think that he can be the best player on a team that wins. I don't think that. So
we have to agree to disagree.
I don't know
how you think that for many years, like that couldn't happen.
I don't know how you can possibly
do that now. So
listen though, there's guys like we don't even have to talk about guys who actually did it, right? Like we're talking about guys who actually did go to a finals. We didn't have to talk about that. There's guys who are better than Damian Lillard who didn't even do it, but we know that they could have did it, right? Like we're talking about guys like James Harden. Like James Harden was objectively better than Damian Lillard when he was in his prime. Objectively, he's a better player. He's better leader of a team.
There's no way
he didn't ever go to a finals, but we think that he could have. Like we think that he could have been a number one option on a championship team, right?
But there's no way that we can plainly say there's no way in no world that Damian Lillard couldn't lead a team to a finals, because we've seen him lead teams deep into playoff situations, and just like James Harden.
And lost.
Okay, James Harden lost. I can't follow you through this. Oh, well, I mean, we know that. I don't know. I don't know that.
We think that. Like, that's the point. We project.
You think that.
So you don't think that. You don't agree?
I think they both could have.
No, bro. He couldn't. He never did it. No.
Neither did James. so it's just like, I can't
never was even
get into that with you.
It was never even that close, though. Like, he did go to what did he go to? A second round? Maybe a third?
I think he's went to a conference
finals.
Maybe he went
and
to
lost to the Warriors, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think he went to a third round.
That happened to James as well, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
so
he went to the third round and got swept. It's much different, though. He went to the third round and got swept by the regular Warriors, and James Harden went versus the KD Warriors, and they went 7 games.
Almost, yeah.
And again, now we're splitting hairs.
It's not splitting hairs.
We talk about Steph Curry. He's sitting many a superstar home. He does that. He's one of the greatest in the generation. So it's just like, I can't sit here and say he could never do it. Right?
He won't ever do it, though. That will never happen. It's done. Now that will never happen.
I mean, he's
I don't think now there's no moment where Dame can like reprove himself with being the number one. I believe like if he's gonna. Like I'm sure he's going to be on the Bucks for a decent amount of time while we still have under 30 Giannis that's going to be in his prime for at least 5 more years, probably more.
Sure.
Like,
but Miles, wouldn't you also agree that ship left for James Harden as soon as he put on the fat suit and then took off his Rocket jersey?
Yeah, for sure. We won't ever see that. Caliber James Harden either.
He won't ever win.
We'll never see that.
No,
so they're in the same boat.
We've seen him bounce around from team to team with the Nets. He wasn't going to be the number one on the Nets. He wasn't going to be the number one on the 76ers. He's of course not the number one on the Clippers.
Absolutely
now.
not.
Like, he might not even be the number 2 right now. Like
so in my eyes, they're in the same boat.
That's fine.
Okay. Not the same level of talent. No, not the same player in their prime.
I think one player was definitely better than the other, but
sure.
If when we try and put categories to them, it's,
you know what I mean?
There's nothing like number one.
And that's a good point. I mean, James has one. James does have the accolades, like the personal accolades.
There's literally nothing that you can say that would make me think that Damian Lillard is better than James Harden. Like there's nothing. Like there's no success.
That's not the point.
But I'm using your acronym. Like if we use anything, like he doesn't have better stats, accolades, story, or eye test. None of that is better.
Okay.
So yes, they had similar end results,
career trajectories and whatnot.
Similar, not the same, similar. But I would say we know who the better player is.
Okay. But even with that being said, I can't sit here and tell you that James Harden would have or could have done something different than he did. In the same breath, I can't do that.
We watched one of the most competitive series of our lifetimes, and we also saw Damian Lillard get swept out. So,
and I watched 2 different teams do it.
And it's also not like, and that was also without Chris Paul. Like if we're gonna really like inject context into it, like that was when Chris Paul got hurt. They started to lose games. And what's it called? That team, like the rest of that team, was not great. There was no other stars, no other all-stars on that team. So,
and Damian Lillard had what?
It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Like it was still constructed in a great way, where like it let James eat.
Exactly.
A lot of 3-and-D players around him. Yeah.
D'Antoni, one of the greats.
They built the team well around him. Like, there's really no complaints. Like, it just like, unfortunately, he got unlucky with injuries and things like that. And one of the worst games ever. His team, like, not him included, his team one of the worst games ever. So
that's true.
Most people do. Most people are simply unlucky.
That's true.
Simply unlucky.
That's true, but we have to we can't ignore that. Like, luck is a huge part of legacy.
We don't ignore it.
Patrick Mahomes is extremely lucky. We're going to look at him we already look at him as one of the greatest players ever. Tom Brady, extremely lucky. He's the best ever. So that's a part of it.
Absolutely. And we still use says, don't we?
No, you use it.
It's the backbone. It's the backbone of any comparison. I'm an inventor. I should copyright that. I really should. It's beautiful how we come back to it. This has been a great discussion. It really has. Would you agree?
No, you're throwing.
I'm throwing?
Yes.
I'm throwing. Yeah. Hey, Einstein was thrown. Like, I can't hold you. Like, it was thrown. Like, I don't, like, I don't know what you want me to say. Says. But Julia, again, it has been a pleasure. It most certainly has been a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? I can only hope that in this stage of my basketball knowledge, my basketball career, like, I can educate. I feel like I have a calling for it, somewhat. If you need anything, I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be here for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I gotta say. Trae Young is a superstar. I don't know. Like, I don't know how we can deny that fact. At the end of the day, I told you the acronym. You can just look at it and go by it. That's some good games tonight. Actually, I think
baseball's coming back.
Finally.
Anywho, the Celtics got the Knicks on ABC. Let's see what we got in the spread. Who y'all got?
6.5 points to the Celtics.
Celtics played last night. No, that was 2 nights ago, I think. In Celtics will win. Yeah, that was 2 nights ago, I think.
Yeah. No, the Celtics didn't play.
Yeah, they played 2 nights ago versus
if I'm going by the spreads though, like I'm taking the Knicks at a +6.5.
Yeah, that's fair. Is it at the Garden or the?
Yeah, it is.
Garden.
It is at the Garden.
Which Garden?
Madison Square Garden.
Oh yeah. Madison Square Garden.
I look for the Celtics. This is a statement win here. I look for them to win by double digits.
Celtics have won
how that works.
All 3 matchups.
It's a statement win too. Yeah. That boy Jason Tatum called himself the best player in the league last week. Y'all saw that?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
so
he's got it.
I mean, you ask any self-respecting player, he should say that though. Like,
I agree. That's what it's so funny. Like,
yeah.
Like when listening to like the Twitter discourse, like we'll get off here in a second, but like listening to the Twitter discourse around like some of the younger, like up and coming guys who are like, people are like, oh, like he's a liar, like he's an idiot.
Right.
Like, good for the game.
Betting on themselves.
Yeah, like that's very good for the game, and we should expect that from them. Like we should expect them to say that they're coming for the guys who are on top right now. Like when we were growing up, like we had guys, like we had Kobe coming for Mike, we had LeBron coming for Kobe. You know, like there was guys coming for each other, and that bettered the game. Like now people are like, oh, he's the best player in the league. Like Joel's like, Joker's the best player. Like I don't understand that. That's crazy to me. Like I don't.
I do think, and I'm not saying anybody in particular, but I think some of these guys have to watch what they say, and the fact that like we take a Jason Tatum, been in the finals, he's averaged 30. Led teams to conference titles, what have you.
Continually has been the guy, like
exactly. some would say it's almost dominant. And it's almost quote unquote dominant what he's been able to do with that Celtics team.
Yeah, for years.
I think, this could be his year. I'm not rooting for Boston to do anything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this could be his year to show the world, like, we have these face of the league discussions, and he should be that. Like, he should be the one that's taking the torch away from some of those older guys and running with it, just due to his successes and what have you. I think he should be in the running for that. So I'm looking to see it. Could he win MVP?
I don't think he will this year, but yeah, he may be. He may. I've heard people throwing that name around, so we'll see now.
I think it's a shoo-in at this point. Like, it's probably a shoo-in for Jokic. Like, especially with Embiid not getting the game limit definitely has changed things. So,
but Shea, like, if Shea and the Thunder finish first, like, he has a good shot. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, Shea and Joker, and then people are saying I don't think Tatum will win though, but yeah,
I think Tatum has a better chance than we give him credit for. I'd like to see that. Like, I'd honestly like to see that. We talk about Jokic. Jokic is not trying for that award. Like, we know this. Yeah, he's just good. Shea, he's great. We're gonna hope that they don't fall off or anything like that crazy. They just got through thrashing the Wizards.
I don't at this point, like, I don't think so. I think we would have seen it already, because I'm pretty sure Minnesota did this I would put Minnesota in the same boat as well. Like, they started great last year and then started falling back and back. I don't remember where they exactly finished, but these were both two teams that I thought would end up coming back down to the rest of the pack, but they really haven't. With 25, 30 games at most left, then
it's really more about it's just about playoffs for them. Like, we'll see what happens with them, but yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. Things are tightening up though. Like, if y'all saw that Minnesota Bucks matchup,
I saw both. I fell asleep at the end, but
they're starting to tighten tighten the screws a little bit. So we'll definitely see what happens. It should be interesting. But y'all got anything else, man?
Nah, I got to get up out of this chair. My leg is killing me.
Yeah, great show.
Make
sure y'all follow us. Yeah, make sure y'all follow us on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, TikTok. Got daily content coming out. Again, special thanks to Bryce. Make sure y'all follow him as well. And we are out of here.